Social scientists/psychobabblists discover insights into love and sex. Chapter 1. My ideas discovered as man alone. Why I can't stand the psychobabblists pretending they're scientists with advanced knowledge about life. Every once in a while, the TV networks come out with the next show on the latest developments in life, love, and sex, and there are always a few phonies with letters after their names saying they've done extensive research and discovered this or that, but you cannot apply the scientific method to study human beings because every human being is a loner stuck in their own heads. Not one human being knows what is going on in the mind of another. Until we develop telepathy, we will all be a bunch of loners. It's pure arrogance and or stupidity for anyone to pretend to study humans and come up with theories on how they live. There are almost 10,000 four-year colleges and universities in the world. They're all teaching the same social science garbage, which is fake knowledge. Personally, I think it's a crime, but most of the world is so brainwashed into this matrix. The universities keep making money teaching this junk masquerading as knowledge or wisdom about life. Everybody is alone. Find your own purity given by God when you were born. Beyond that, don't listen too much to all the BS out there about life. I wrote this book out of my own thoughts and advice from people, most of whom experienced life and thought up some things on their own. I've read the results of surveys and other so-called scientific studies on love and sex. You can't get much better than the common sense in some ancient books like the Book of Proverbs and Ovid's Art of Love from 2,000 years ago, yet they keep pretending they're coming up with great new advanced scientific discoveries in life, love, and sex. The wisest people are the ones who tap into their true natures given by God/nature at birth and don't buy into other people's junk about life. What they should teach people in the social sciences at college is to get out from under the matrix that has been brainwashing you since you had first consciousness, to think your own thoughts purely away from other people's junk. They got about 100 different majors under the umbrella of social sciences, all supposed to teach you about life from other people's bullshit. Why don't they just say straight up, think for yourself about your life? Screw everybody else with their bullshit, including those phony mental illnesses in their book of fiction called the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Illnesses. I figured romantic love out by analyzing myself. Philosophers, musicians, artists, psychobabblists and many know-it-alls have tried to analyze love. I think it's a temporary mental illness brought on by hormones, because I have always fell out of love naturally through no fault of the girl I was with. I fell in love pretty hard several times as a young guy. It goes away as you get older because you realize that there are thousands of beautiful women. You can't fall for all of them all the time. I can only speak for men because I don't know what a woman goes through. A guy can get infatuated, smitten, fall under the spell of a woman or another guy if he's gay, then at some point in time, anywhere from a few months to a few years later, the strong attraction is gone through no fault of the woman. I think it's biology. A guy is supposed to be attracted to a female, have sex, spread his seed, then find the next woman, but society says you're supposed to stay with one woman for life, have children, and help raise them, whereas in reality we're really like Vikings. We want to have sex with any attractive woman we see, no need for romance or courtship. Nobody ever told me I would fall out of love. I had to figure it out on my own by living my life, constantly falling in and out of love, trying to be honest with what I felt within myself. After the love hormones wear off, the guy decides to stay or go. If he decides to stay, he knows this is a rational decision after the headiness of the initial infatuation has worn off, and commits to it. Listen to yourself. Don't listen to the world. My theory of spellbound love/casting a spell on you. Based on my own experience and analysis, to me, a lot of women, but not all of them, have a charm and an intuition that enables them to make a man fall in love with them by being nice, kind, friendly, sexy, smiling, moving close to their target, always nodding at what he says, laughing at his jokes, making eye contact and holding his gaze, etc. Only some girls do this. They're the ones who can seduce almost any man they want. As a recipient of this type of seduction a few times, I saw that if I'm attracted to a girl and she's attracted to me, she can reel me into falling in love with her even though I don't feel monogamous. With my knowledge of sex and love, I know when this type of seduction is taking place. I can separate my emotions from my rational thought process. A lot of guys can't or don't. They get reeled right in. Combine a young woman's charm and the societal indoctrination about monogamy and a lot of guys marry, not realizing that this feeling will end within 18 months or so. For the average guy, this seduction happens so rarely that often the first time it happens is enough for the guy to fall in love with the girl and marry her. The problem is that the girl can cast this spell but very few can sustain it past 18 months, although a few very seductive, intriguing, interesting women can. The way I see it is that the woman does nice things that cause the guy to release a bunch of brain chemicals like oxytocin for a short while, enough time for the guy to marry the girl and have a kid with her, but after that, quite often the brain chemicals there for the hot, intense love goes down. This is the basis of my belief that most marriages past 2 years long aren't all that good despite what virtually every couple says, and I've seen a lot of couples claim to have good to great marriages when I could intuitively tell they were either lying or their version of a great marriage is two people mildly comfortable with each other in the complacent sense, not in the great loving, epic romantic sense. The truth is that I can come across a girl every year or two who casts this spell on me. It lasts for a while, then I come across another girl who rocks my world. That's why I'm so tenuous about lifelong monogamy, because there is one initial spray of fireworks, then it usually drops down unless you're either with an exceptional girl who knows how to constantly please her man, or until you meet the next girl who turns you on right away, then makes the seductive moves to make you feel good. There is no great secret to seducing a guy. Treat him well so that he feels good when he's with you. That's it. Not a lot of girls are very good at this. They're too self-centered to understand that the guy needs that positive affirmation for a short, intense period of time to fall in love then propose. A lot of girls either think they're it or get brainwashed by the media to think that their looks are enough. They think the guy is supposed to do all the work. This is what separates girls who can get virtually any guy they want from the generic mass of seemingly passionless girls. Chapter 2. Sex and Love Research. Can academics get more insight than man alone analyzing his life? Sexual research, a joke, phony knowledge, or real, happenin', legitimate stuff? Of all the academics in the social sciences, most are afraid to do research on sexuality because it means they have to open themselves up to some extent, deal with the discomfort of people in general in discussing it, and bear the negative perceptions of others who might be thinking they're perverts or have personal sex problems of their own to want to be studying this stuff. What if you look like an introverted nerd with no game yet you're classified as a sex expert? Take a look at some of our so-called sex experts in the media. The real sex experts are good-looking sex workers. I don't claim to be a sex expert. To me, a sex expert looks vital, sexy, and luscious. They have to have game to be attractive to the opposite sex so they can engage in sex and romance, then write about it. If they're married, they have to look attractive to their spouse. No introverted nerd sitting in an ivory tower can possibly be a legitimate sex expert. If the mass media can sell Dudley-looking people as sex experts, it proves my point that they can sell just about anything. Imagine somebody studying childhood sexuality or adult child sexual contact. Some people would think that the researcher probably has these tendencies himself. Kinsey and Masters and Johnson did sex research by watching people have sex. Nowadays, you're not allowed to do that because of research ethics rules, so they're left with sex surveys and silly, little experiments. Most sex research is done on college campuses using college students as subjects, which skews the results to this one group of people and probably doesn't apply much to people over 30 who are mostly married, with kids, working a job. On top of that, most of the college students in these studies are students majoring in the artsy-fartsy psychology and sociology fields. Can sexuality really be measured with those tests and scales they dream up? Why measure this subjective experience anyway, since it's different for everyone? When people know they're being watched, as with an observational sex study like watching the pickup at a bar, their behavior changes. The measure of sexual arousal is still measured by blood flow to the genital region. They need something more solid, like to pinpoint the sexual arousal section of the brain, then they can measure it through brain scans as they do their studies. Everybody lies in self-report surveys. They want to look good and appear normal to the people running the experiments. People forget things. With multiple choice options, none of the options may fit the subject. Researchers are generally grandiose. They look for profound, one-dimensional explanations to subjects that have no universal answer. Everybody's sexuality is unique. You can't explain why some people are gay or some people have fetishes in a simple, clear way because everybody has their own reasons. Researchers can only find correlations between variables. They can't say with certainty that one thing led to another, like they can't say being molested as a child made you gay or fat. It could have been the other way around. Because you acted feminine as a young boy, you were more likely to be a target for gay child molesters. All sexual research is biased. Christian, right-wing types find that porn is bad, while people funded by the porn industry always say porn is good. When Richard Nixon was the American president, he commissioned some group to do a study of pornography. When they came back and said it was harmless, he fired them, buried their research, then hired some other guys who came back and said porn is bad, thereby giving him the justification to go after the sex industry as an immoral, destructive force in America. All in all, they do their silly, little experiments and think they're adding to the collective knowledge of sexuality, but what they're doing is providing a lot of false, artificial knowledge about sexuality that some naive people get brainwashed by, thinking it's real because some formal psychobabblists in this formal field of psychology said so. Enlightened people question the entire study of psychology except for the study of the organic, physical brain. I don't surrender my natural, inherent sexuality to anyone, which means I read sexual research for general knowledge and entertainment, but I know what I'm all about sexually. Everything always comes down to my natural intuition for me. None of that so-called sexuality research means much next to the wisdom I feel in my soul. If you're into a specific topic of sexuality, you'd probably get more insight talking to other people who are into it too than reading some dry study about it where the researcher injects his own academic diatribe into it, which is most likely fiction based on my experiences of reading a lot of social science studies. It's like they always feel a need to psychoanalyze the data and bring Freud into it, who was wrong in everything he said, like the stages of childhood sexual development, penis envy, the Oedipus Complex, even the theory of the subconscious mind, because people like me repress nothing. My alleged subconscious mind is the same as my conscious mind because I'm all about being true to myself. Most people do not have strong individual wills, even though virtually everyone thinks they do. Most people are uneducated about sexuality, nor have they contemplated their own sexuality much, so they're easily pliable. They take on the sexual attitudes they see on TV. I saw a 12-year-old girl being interviewed on TV. They showed her a skanky, slutty, demeaning music video that amounted to softcore porn. The answer the girl gave was something she had heard one of these sexy pop stars say previously. Instead of saying the true answer, that it was skanky and demeaning with no true music involved, she said it shows that this girl is free enough to be herself and experiment with her life. In fact, the music video was an imitation of any of the many skanky softcore porn type of music video you see all over the music channels. They're all brainwashed to think it's cool, so they all try to imitate it when in reality it's tacky stuff. Do you remember that video that came out in the late 1990s that was a next-generation version of Voulez-vous couches avec moi from the disco era? I believe it was part of the promotion for the movie Moulin Rouge. If you watch the music video, there's no music there, just a bunch of skanks with lingerie on acting stupid. It wasn't erotic at all, yet the brainwashed masses made it #1 on the pop charts. My point is that very few people take the time to contemplate and discover their own sexuality. They just go along with whatever the mainstream media feeds them, all the way from pop stars trying to exploit themselves with sexuality to cute little articles in frivolous magazines gleaned from the current sexuality research. I wouldn't worry about the imperfections of sexuality research. Hardly anyone reads the stuff anyway unless it's packaged as a cute article in a frivolous women's magazine. The truth is that most people get their attitudes about sex from pop culture celebrities and gossipy talk shows rather than from themselves or formal scientific research. Sex advice articles, real or bull? Are the sex advice articles in the lifestyle men's and women's magazines bursting with great sex and dating advice, or are they a pile of meaningless crap? Some people go so far as to suggest that some of the articles have political motivations to them to push people a certain way politically, and some have subtle advertising for consumer products and services. Nerve.com has a monthly article called something like Your Miserable Sex Life, where every month, they gather the silliest sex advice articles in frivolous magazines for the previous month and tear them apart as a joke, meant to make you laugh while you see the truth in what they say. Then the people come on to post their comments. It's a good laugh. It's a way to bring us back to reality and know that all that psychobabble everywhere written by so-called experts are nothing next to the natural wisdom in your soul. For example, is it realistic to hire a private violinist to follow you and your woman around on the street? How about spending a night in an igloo in Alaska? How many people have the money and free time to do this on a whim? On top of that, these people have never spent a night in an igloo. If they did, they would know it's petty cold in there. The top temperature is under 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not romantic. How do you measure an orgasm? Who cares? Up until recently, scientists studying sexual arousal hooked up temperature and blood flow monitors to the genitals, then showed subjects pictures of attractive naked people. They would see that body temperature rose and there was more blood flow to the genitals. A penile strain gauge goes around the penis to measure the change in its circumference. This is highly unreliable, so there is a machine that measures the volume that the penis displaces. A vaginal plethysmograph is a small device that goes into the vagina. It measures changes in vaginal blood volume and vaginal pulse amplitude. Measuring blood flow changes to try to determine sexual arousal is crude. It just doesn't work because arousal and orgasm are mental, aesthetic, and spiritual. They're doing brain scans and neuroimaging to try to determine what happens in sexual arousal. They still can't measure what happens in the brain during orgasm because the head moves around during orgasm. They need a still body part in order to take a picture or scan of the brain, but there is a possibility of attaching electrodes to the head and photographing the brain even though it's in motion. Why are they so intent on measuring and defining sexual arousal and the orgasm? Some things can't be measured or defined by science, like sex or the soul, but this is what scientists and psychologists do. It's a fun job, but academic research in aesthetic life matters rarely yields any useful knowledge that we don't already intuitively know. Chapter 3. What social scientists say about love and sex. 1. The Social Science Love and Sex Insight Guide. If you go through academic journals like Sex Roles, Journal of Marriage and Family, Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, and the Journal of Sex Research, you come across all kinds of experiments they do. Most of the time they conclude it all with a simple statement at the end about some result or insight they think they came to based on manipulating their variables and crunching their numbers. They call this social science, but they don't seem to understand that human life is about soul, spirit, essence, passion, and inspiration. All their studies still can't touch intuitive nature. There was a column in the British newspaper The Guardian, guardian.co.uk, called Love by Numbers, where the author would write about the results of current studies in love, sex, and romance. Psychology Today and most frivolous women's magazines have cute little articles and one-liners about findings from love, sex, and romance studies published in academic journals. Here are a few of these one-liner tidbits of knowledge the authors of these quantitative studies came to. Pickup lines don't matter. It is about how you look and whether you smile or not. They say online dating is pretty bad, but your chances are zero if you don't do it. The most important thing that matters in speed dating is how you look. This is the greatest predictor of getting picked at the end of the night. The busiest time for dating websites are Monday, when people decide they have had enough of lonely weekends. We heard of spring fever, but the most logical time for romance is fall because people want to nest, get settled in, so to speak. Psychobabblists say having kids will not make you happier. Having kids will decrease sex and romance. Romantic love is very predictable. There is high passion for a few months, then it goes down, down, down. A few people stay in happy relationships, but most question their marriages. Growing apart is normal. Personal problems can end relationships, like alcohol, unemployment, raising children problems, kids leaving home, money problems, etc. If you're married and a lost love contacts you from when you were young, it could be trouble. Many lost love reunions have affairs. For most couples, sex rate goes down quickly after the honeymoon period. If you are having an affair with a married guy who says he will leave his wife soon to be with you, chances are he is leading you on. Couples do not spend much time with each other because of work and other interests, so the lesson is, when you're together, make it count. Be active with each other. Don't just watch TV and eat junk food. If you're married, your spouse does not think it's cool if you flirt with anyone. If you get text flirts, that's close to cheating. If your spouse has a good-looking, close to the same age opposite-sex friend, that's a red flag for infidelity. Sexually attractive people are rarely platonic with close friends. Revenge can be criminal and get you arrested. It might quell some anger, but usually it doesn't. The best way to deal with it is to forget about it. If you are with someone who goes back and forth, at one point saying I need some space to think about the relationship, then calling you and telling you he misses you, you're with a waffler. If someone loves you, they don't mess around about it. Gay people in straight relationships are often very good at hiding their homosexuality. Their spouses don't discover until later. People in general take relationship breakups very hard. The truth is that breakups are good because they prove you were not meant to be together. Never cry about the past. If you do, you're stupid. The biggest indicator of cheating is that your lover is suddenly distant. People with big egos are always looking for someone better. They will leave you when they find the next big thing. If you are beautiful when you get married and 5 years later you're fat, your narcissistic husband will leave you. Most people are self-centered narcissists, even though almost no one will admit to it. Many people do not realize the pain they cause by being jerks in relationships. Commitment is not the same as happiness in a relationship. You can commit to a relationship, but it still has bumps you have to work on. You are attracted to people who look like your opposite sex parent. The workplace is the most common place to meet a lover. It beats school because school only lasts for a season. Sex on a first date is a bad idea if you want a long-term relationship. It's normal to be horny, but to show it means desperation if you're looking for a relationship. Most men are for one-night stands, most women are against it. If so many women are against it, then guys who claim to be fucking them and leaving them must be liars. Girls put out quickly on TV and in movies, but in real life it's not that common. If your relationship is solid, you will not worry when your mate goes out socializing with his or her workmates and other friends. Women are attracted to tall men. Men are attracted to short women. When women say men are intimidated by their independence and intelligence, the truth is that men don't really care about these things, but if you're a bitch, that's a turn off. Men like beauty, niceness, and honesty. Holiday romances when you go on a trip are generally meant to be temporary by the players. Virtually everyone in a relationship settles to some degree because there are no perfect people. If someone looks perfect, they are usually in love with the face in the mirror. After people leave a relationship, they should grieve a while before jumping into another one. People want magical head over heels love. Most end up with friendship marriages, meet someone, fall in like slowly, no fireworks. If you love someone and they you, don't listen to the naysayers. The way you are to each other in a car for an hour drive is the way the relationship is. Some people fight all the time in the car. The more similar you are, the more likely the relationship will work. The divorce rate for police officers is very high. If you argue a lot, your relationship is not happy and good even if you say it is. Men say they sleep with more women than they do. Women say they slept with less men than they did to a new lover. If you're in love, do not worry about breaking cultural traditions. Love beats everything. Your idea of romance should be the love you feel, not the cheesy stuff society says, like flowers and candy on Valentine's Day. If a relationship grows distant, either solve it directly by talking about it or quit. If you meet someone and she says she likes you but are not sure you are her soulmate, it means that even if she marries you, she will never really love you. People break up often not because of you but because of them. They might try to blame you but they are purposely sabotaging the relationship. There is no rhyme nor reason in love. There is a lot of convoluted psychobabble out there about how birth order affects your love and sex life. The more older brothers you have, supposedly the more likely you are to be gay. Attractive people end up having more children than ugly people. Most people think they're passionate, upbeat, inspired people even though they are average and ordinary. The more of a dependent person you are, the harder you will take rejection and the more you will fear it, thereby seeing it in a relationship when it is not there. A nice guy is a code term for a boring guy, but in surveys women say they like loyal, kind, considerate guys best, who are usually boring. Nice is not enough. Women want passion. People prefer people with their hair color. People rarely change who they are. A jerk will always be a jerk. Most people live in a self-centered bubble. Even though they think they know their lover, surveys show they have only a superficial knowledge of them. Social trends in sexuality. People marry later in life and have less children. Many couples don't marry, just live common law. There are more gays, or at least out gays. People seem to cheat more than in the past, probably because of opportunities through the internet. Because people work more than they did in the past, I'm willing to bet that American couples have sex less than they did a generation ago. Divorce goes around 50% of all marriages. A lot of sex crimes like rape, incest, child molestation, and prostitution are committed. A lot of couples have reproductive/infertility problems. Fertility treatments is big business. Sexually transmitted diseases, STDs, cause many health problems. Premarital and adolescent sexual activity has been the same for the past 30 years. Some teens practice safe sex, some don't. There are a lot of single women who have babies and raise them alone. The best estimates suggest that in a given year, approximately 3 to 4% of currently married people have a sexual partner other than their spouse. Over 90% of women and over 75% of men report being faithful to their spouses throughout their marriage. Extramarital relations are apparently more common among younger adults. The gay and lesbian communities have long adopted 10% as the proportion of the population that is homosexual, but studies conclude that it is less than 3%. On average, adults engage in sexual intercourse about 62 times per year, a little over once a week. Among those aged 18 to 29, the average frequency of intercourse is near 85 times per year. This declines steadily with aging. The honeymoon effect lessens and the sex gets boring, except for bona fide happy couples, which is not as common as people claim. Sexual inactivity among the elderly is fairly common as a function of aging, poor health and unavailability of a partner. Some people, about 34%, say they have less promiscuous sex because of the fear of STDs. Young people under 29 are the horniest, have sex more than anyone else, and tend to be less cautious practicing safe sex. African Americans living in cities have more sex than others. Young, single men are the most sexually active in society. Sexual behavior diminishes with age. Religion exercises a restraint on sexual behavior for some persons. Chapter 4. What social scientists say about love and sex too. Theories of Sexuality Guide. Nowadays they got theories for why we do what we do sexually. The answer seemed pretty obvious until about 30 years ago, when psychobabble exploded onto the scene en masse. Nature or God, the Creator, endowed us with a very intense, pleasurable sensation called the orgasm. For us as individuals, this feeling was the payoff to the process of seeking out attractive females, then having sexual intercourse with them either by force, barter or romance. For a while, human beings didn't even make the connection between sex leading to pregnancy and the birth of a baby, but they did it anyway. The main sexual theories are: 1. Social constructionism. 2. Evolutionary psychology. 3. Freudian theory. 4. Social exchange theory. Social constructionist theories of sex assume that reality and experience are all subjective, experienced by individuals. They say there is no universal law of sex. We learn about it through watching our tribe, the other people around us who we grow up with. Most social constructionists give some credence to innate biology, but for them, culture mostly determines how we act out sexually. Feminist sexology is a part of social constructivism theory, where they point to how much women's sexuality has changed in the past 50 years because of the move by women to become equal in the bedroom, which transformed them from passive receptacles to their husbands to being free to do whatever they want sexually. At one time, women barely masturbated because of the guilt messages they got from society. Nowadays, vibrators are openly sold everywhere. It's all cultural. Evolutionary theory basically states that we have sex to keep the species reproducing so it doesn't go extinct. Men were endowed with a high sex drive to impregnate as many women as possible. Monogamy is a cultural idea thrust over our true natures, no pun intended. Nature or God made us as sexual as we are in order to make sure we keep mating and reproducing. Psychoanalytic theory, championed mostly by Freud, says that everything is motivated by sex, and if we can't get it, we express ourselves in other alternative ways, some of which are good like creativity and some of which are bad like sex crimes, alcoholism, fetishism with inanimate objects, etc. Freud's defense mechanism is an attempt to explain how we deal with our unfulfilled sexual fantasies. The Oedipus Complex says young boys are attracted to their mothers, want to have sex with her, and are jealous of their fathers. The Electra Complex, also known as penis envy, says young girls want to have sex with their mothers, realize they are not biologically equipped to, and thus are jealous that males have a penis. Freud's stages of sexual development are: oral fixation, anal, the phallic, the penis. If Freud's work is accurate, then it implies that people subconsciously desire incest, which goes against evolution, which wants a healthy mixing of the genes among young people. Freud goes way too extreme with his stages of childhood sexual development, theory of homosexuality, Oedipus Complex, Electra Complex, penis envy, etc. These ideas are his fantasies. They're absurd, but at one time they were considered deep, legitimate knowledge. Social exchange theory applies economic concepts to behavior. Social interactions are like bartering in the marketplace. The girl gives the guy sex, he gives her food, money, a house, etc., and protects her. The social exchange could also be status or power in the community. The head dude's girl, is automatically high in status. The prettier the girl, the more she's worth out there in the marketplace of men looking for sex. In a scarce marketplace like in Alaska, an ugly girl has some value, whereas in a marketplace where supply exceeds demand like Washington, D.C., even the pretty girls have to settle for less than stellar, low-status men. There's a lot of psychobabble trying to explain why human beings are sexual, but Occam's razor says the simplest answer is usually right, which is that nature made me attracted to pretty women and sexually aroused by their naked bodies. What I do to have sex with them doesn't really matter. The point is that I never stop desiring sex with beautiful, young women. I was born that way. Passionate love theory. Passionate love is a burning emotion, a strong feeling or a desire that is deep within your soul. Passionate love was considered the highest, all-encompassing, transcendent kind of love to Stendhal, and he wrote his great treatise to it in an effort to get a certain young lady to fall in love with him. Even though he lived a tragic life not getting this intense love he craved, his work gave millions of his readers insight and inspiration into the higher stages of romantic love. The idea of passionate love gives people hope for the impossible, transcendent love affair. It gives them a chance to dream about it if they can't get it in real life. Love at the sales of romance novels. Virtually every woman and most guys, even if they won't admit it, dream of a great, passionate love affair that will take their lives from average to greatness. ThePassionateLove.com. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/love. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/passion_emotion, passion in marriage. Friendship theory of love / you're fun to be with. Love is the wisdom of the fool and the folly of the wise. The friendship theory of love is not based on the strong primal attraction of the first look. In fact, looks only play a role to the extent that you don't have to be good looking, just not too ugly. If you look neutral, not good looking but not ugly, just average, that's fine because looks are secondary in the friendship way people fall in love. The formula is simple. Mutual disclosure over time equals trust. Trust over time equals closeness. Closeness over time equals more sharing of emotions. Sharing of emotions over time equals empathy, understanding this person, feeling them, trying to relate to them. Empathy over time equals loyalty. Loyalty over time equals friendship love. Friendship love over time equals romantic love. Note that according to my way of thinking, I only give credence to one kind of love, the primal, instinctive, love at first sight, strong attraction, and that's because I'm a bohemian romantic free spirit who lives in an idealistic fantasy world of my own creation, but also because I've been there before. I've been in love like this even though I have since recognized that I'm more sex addict than romantic lover, but I have a certain element of that romantic dreaminess within me. My point about all this is that love at first sight scenes are nice, but in the real world, they only happen a handful of times in a mutual way by both sides over a lifetime, and the probability gets lower as you age because you lose your youthful looks and primal vitality somewhat. Chances are you ain't gonna look across a crowded room on the other side of midnight, lock eyes with a stranger, whereupon the cosmic forces of the universe will shoot a lightning bolt down into the two of you and Zeus will bless this union for life. Look at yourself in the mirror. Don't live in delusion. Accept yourself as is and know you will get someone like you, at your level so to speak. So, if this primal love at first sight rarely happens in the real world, partially because very few of us have the inherent substance that makes us drop dead gorgeous at first sight to others, how do people couple up? The demands of making a living out in the world plus the fact that most of us are brainwashed pop culture clones makes the individual citizens of Western society a bunch of mundane people in general. Sure, there are a few original, inspired individuals in the bunch, but most of us led very similar lives, plugged into the same brainwashing forces, namely the traditional work ethic version of the American dream. The belief that the acquisition of material goods and bigger houses creates happiness. The mainstream media news agenda. The pop culture definitions of what's cool. Because most people live by this formula, there are very few truly sparkly, swashbuckling original beauties out there, so we take what's available from the pool of people in our neck of the woods, generally, someone generic like ourselves who works an average job somewhere, are doing alright materially but want more, watches the news, believes it, thinks it's important and tries to be cool based on what they see in corporate advertising and pop culture entertainment. So what do you expect? You get what you are. Most of us are average people who fall in love friendship style over time. There's no great meeting of the souls or a great love at first sight cosmic connection. It's just two average people meeting somewhere like at work, school, or through friends without any strong sense of spark, and over time, get to like each other, then love each other in what I call a friendship lukewarm kind of way, as opposed to the just one look and it's a meeting of the souls way, and that's the way it really is in the real world. A pheromone theory of love. The pheromone theory I read says physical attraction has a lot to do with initial attraction, but there's something else. The sense we give off can give off some signal that attracts someone else, and it doesn't have to be physical looks. It could be something in the immune system, something you sense you need. If and when we bump into someone with the proper pheromonal chemistry to fit what we are looking for on a subconscious level, the pheromonal people say we experience an immediate and primal attraction to that person without knowing why. There is no guarantee the other person will feel the same. Pheromone love wears off then if the person is not attracted to you for you, they're gone. One woman said she felt that some guy needed her, which is why she married him. It wasn't physical attraction or money. The guy is an average guy, but he is always there for her just like she's there for him. Up front, it was some kind of hormonal feeling where they both sensed that they needed each other. This is a controversial theory. You can't prove it exists, but you can look at all the seeming mismatches out there and ask why are they with each other after 5, 10, or more years. There is some kind of attraction there. I think it's this you needed me, I needed you bit. Humans may not be as susceptible to pheromone signaling as animals because we don't have the sense of smell they do. The pheromones operate on a subconscious level. Even with pheromones love, you still have to work at it. Chapter 5. The Wisdom of Sex Surveys. Sexual Insights Survey. The following points are trends I observed after putting a short questionnaire out to a general social chat room on the internet, asking for opinions about many basic topics in the arena of sex, love, and romance. I read at least 400 and came to some conclusions that I felt were trends or commonalities. Take these info bits as food for thought. The greatest sexual insight of all time is that the media and other forces, namely the lies of people, make it seem like the world is one big sexually liberated, free, fun, happening place and everybody is having great sex but you. The truth is the exact opposite. We can't even get along casually in social situations. How do you expect people to go around making love to each other casually or intimately at will freely? Business, entertainment, and the media use sex to sell everything by making us feel inadequate and fueling our curiosity. While most people are either klutzes in bed or after about the age of 35, they get too tired to have sex with their partners. Very few people have great, regular sex over a lifetime with a partner. For men, sex is all about the orgasm. For women, it's the emotional connection. Many people gauge the greatness of their relationship by the amount of sex they're having. If they're not doing it, the relationship isn't hot stuff regardless of how much they're good friends with each other. Just about everybody lives by the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. No matter how great your life is, you always feel there's not enough of something, either not enough money, sex, drugs, fame, admiration, etc. Single people think that married people are having great cozy nights together, while married people think single people must be having fun, sexual escapades reminiscent of some orgy fantasy, but the truth for each is not so glamorous. Each side has its good and bad points. Married people get bored of each other, single people spend many nights alone, not necessarily lonely but alone without somebody sharing the bed with them. Many people rarely sleep around or cheat on their spouses. Many people don't have incredible sex fests but are happy with the sex lives with their partners, even though it's less than 3 times a week for most people. The truth is that work and children often take the focus away from sex so much that the couple often becomes near sexless after several years of steadily working and raising kids. People say they want intimate sex, but after the age of 35 or so, many say they have low sex drives. Most people see themselves differently than the way their partner sees them, and differently than the way they think their partner sees them. What I'm saying is that we're basically blobs of flesh running around each in our own little islands. We think our partner sees us as we see ourselves, but they're probably off in left field somewhere, caught up in their own little delusions of you, while you're probably caught up in a little delusion about your partner. This could be good or bad. Plainly, we're on different levels. We don't talk enough about heartfelt things, so we fill in the gaps with our own assumptions, which are often a little bit off from reality. There is a gap of communication and understanding between most couples. The major finding is that nobody talks about sex in an open, regular, relaxed way. They do it self-consciously in silence for a few minutes, then go to sleep, leaving it all half-cocked, unresolved. Disregard all the bull you see on TV with them phony bedroom scenes. It's fiction. Nobody lets their true emotions out, what they really feel inside. Everybody's hiding, but everyone wants more openness. Don't be afraid to talk, make requests and ask questions. Men and women alike are quiet, afraid, and passive when it comes to sex and the discussion of it. Both must open up more and not be afraid to talk about sex and what you want out of the deal. Become a more frisky, lusty sexual dynamo. Both should take the initiative more. Men play silent macho to hide their ignorance, women play dumb because they don't want to appear like they know too much about sex, thinking it will make them appear more ladylike if they act inexperienced, like they've been saving themselves for the right guy. Play it cool, take it for what it is, and men, don't go ripping the clothes off your babe in anticipation of a great passionate affair. Unlike the movies, she won't appreciate it. And if you think making love on the beach is romantic like Burt Lancaster did in From Here to Eternity, 1953, just try it and you will see how it feels with sand up your butt. Bring a blanket and some cold drinks. Sex is about anxiety for a lot of people. Many people are insecure about performing and about what their lover is thinking about them. Sex is often reserved for just before bedtime when we're half asleep anyway. People want more sex all the time. People want their partners to make special times for making love. The frequency of sex between a couple is often a good indicator of how well the relationship is going. The more sex, the better; the less sex, the worse. Sex should be like training for a race. Some sessions are good, some bad, but you're always willing to learn. Good sex is interactive. Each feeds off the other, reading the signals, responding and giving encouragement. Sex drive between couples often varies. One is up, the other down. Talk about it. Find ways to deal with it. For example, if the husband is tired, cuddle anyway. If one's nympho and the other not, masturbate more rather than imposing on her. Orgasms, emotions, and the ego power play control thing are a complex and dynamic triad in almost every relationship. Men complain that women aren't good lovers. They don't do oral well, nor do they participate enough. They just lay there like a log. If a man does oral on a woman, he wants good oral back on him. The sex in virtually all marriages takes a nosedive after about a year, then steadily decreases until middle age, when it's almost non-existent for many people. Many people simply emotionally shut off by middle age. Many couples are angry at their mates for being jerks. A big problem is one's hot, the other cold. There's no magic solution. Just deal with it one way or another. Compromise, have a light cuddling episode. Try to get her hot. She might go for it. Most people feel somewhat embarrassed, inadequate, naive, uneducated and self-conscious sometimes during sex, so they don't talk about it. Masturbation is a big taboo topic, yet virtually everybody does it. Talk about it and reassure your partner that you can each do it by yourselves without worrying about the other demeaning you in some way if they catch you in the act. Many people need booze and drugs to open up enough to have good sex. Many couples do oral sex when the guy can't get it up. Great sex can't make a relationship work. A relationship can work even if the sex is bad. Sex alone won't make a relationship succeed. Some people in bad relationships have good sex together. When you kiss and cuddle, it doesn't necessarily have to lead to sex. Sometimes men and women alike would just rather cuddle than have sex. Men and women alike feel more emotionally cut off from their partners sexually as they get older. There's a big fear of rejection between lovers. Couples should talk about birth control as it relates to them. A lot of sex is done in silence, with one side waiting for the other to open up and initiate more, but it often doesn't happen. True love is the basis of good sex. Everybody's horny. Masturbation is the great safety valve. People look to their partners for feedback which they respond from. Women are physically attracted to men, but they want more emotion with their sex than men do. Women want men to give them orgasms. They want men who are adventurous and try different things. They want men to respond to their sexual needs. Penis size is generally not an issue. It's what he does with it. If the penis is too large, it can be painful for the woman. Fatigue is the biggest excuse to avoiding sex. Everyone wants certain things in a relationship. Everyone wants more talk and more emotion during sex. Everyone wants sex to be exciting. The operative word is intimacy, intimacy. Take the time to talk, touch, stare into each other's eyes, cuddle and engage with a warm heart. Everybody seems to want more play, which means to lighten up. They want sex and sex talk to be lighthearted, and they want sex to be a fun, playful adventure. They want honesty and trust. Bring up sexual problems and talk about them in an open, non-judgmental manner. Women think they're supposed to be chaste and pure, so they don't talk about sex, but they should. If you want something, ask for it or write it out in a gentle way so that your partner knows and maybe wants to do it to you. Communication is easily the biggest roadblock to good sex. Don't underestimate the body language and emotional cues either. It's all part of it. If you're in the mood, let him or her know by touching, eye contact, smiling, jutting your breasts into him, getting close, etc. Learn to read your partner's body language. Even though people want their lovers to talk more, they still want straight out, physically dynamic sex. Sex is sex, you can't deny it. Everyone wants a lusty tiger/tigress in bed. They want a partner with a great body. Men want a slim woman with large breasts who likes sex but is not too wise or aggressive about it. They like innocent and flirtatious. Women want macho men who are openly tender at the same time. Women want men to slow down and help to arouse her so that she has an orgasm too. They don't want to go for the orgasm all the time. They just want to play around sometimes, like a massage or just cuddle. They want to transcend boundaries and explore sex. People want variety. They want to learn about sex, but they're often afraid to try anything with their partners. People occasionally want fast, easy, no-hassle sex with their spouses called quickies. People want to screw outside the bedroom, like on the kitchen table. Everybody wants everybody to initiate more. It's alright for women to initiate. Try for a regular signal like say, "I'm going to bed now," or start kissing, teasing, etc. Get frisky. Fear of rejection stops people from initiating. You have to open up enough to initiate at will, and your partner has to be receptive enough to respond. Be smart enough to initiate only when the mood is right. The movies portray sex as a cool, clean, great fantasy thing, but in reality, it's usually about two fumbling, average-looking, somewhat inhibited people. People have preconceived notions about sex which aren't realistic. There's a big difference between what exists in the sexual fantasies of people and what they get when it comes to real sex. Expectations and reality are very different. Sex rarely goes as planned or desired. You must lower your expectations from the fantasies in your mind. Too many people expect a big, whammo, fantastic time, especially the first time together. It probably won't happen except in the movies and in the pages of those phony sex letters in magazines. Men and women are very ignorant of each other's sexuality. Men want to be loved and adored just like women do. Women like sex too. There is no leader in the bedroom, everyone's clumsy. We're all hypocrites when it comes to sex, treating it as some far-off, mysterious thing, mistakenly assuming the other sex is different and possibly more superior in knowledge of the game. When the stereotypes are ripped away, you have a man and a woman standing there wanting the same things: love, warmth, and pleasure. In general, women place less emphasis on intercourse and more on the emotional bond than men. They're more faithful than men and less preoccupied with sex. Men, on the other hand, are all about the female's look rather than her emotional makeup, want straight sex more, fantasize more, and are more likely to have multiple partners. Men think that women want a muscular-looking, tall guy without much body fat, but women are really attracted to a slim guy without much body fat, not necessarily muscular, with nice, friendly eyes and tall. Many women simply don't have great sex lives with their men, especially after 35. Women complain that their men are poor lovers. Perhaps they expect too much after they see all that crap on the soap operas, but get a clue anyway. Many women say that they're quite ignorant about sex and report that they didn't learn what great sex was until after their divorce in their late 30s. Besides closeness and intimacy, people want novelty when it comes to sex. This could be wearing lingerie, doing it outdoors, getting away for the weekend, etc. No matter how good the sex, the novelty fades with most couples, then each start to fantasize about others to keep themselves aroused. The only way to stop or prevent this is to be a fascinating lover yourself. Think as though you never want to stop discovering her. Women generally have a harder time getting to orgasm than men while making love, but can often reach great orgasms when masturbating. Just because a woman doesn't reach orgasm doing sex doesn't mean she doesn't want it. All women want orgasm, so you gotta lick her clit. Many women like tongue action down there because it's soft and slurpy. Everybody wants to feel attractive to the opposite sex regardless of gender or age. Everyone has secret fantasies. Couples report that they have to discover each other's patterns before they can have a good sex life. Single people are generally more horny than married people. Married people seem to tire of it because it's always available and they have the added stress of kids and work. Casual sex is down due to the fear of STDs and AIDS, although many people under 25 are still callous about it and engage in unprotected sex anyway. Very few people have simultaneous orgasms. Girls often fake it. Sex surveys info. I don't believe in much of the psychobabble research they do. In sex surveys, people will lie if their name is on it or if they verbally give answers to an interviewer, but if a sex survey is voluntary and anonymous like ones conducted by magazines or on the internet asking people to answer questions and give opinions, only motivated people interested in the subject matter will bother answering them. While this may lead to skewed results because only motivated people are answering as opposed to everybody, including all the lazy, smelly couch potatoes, in my opinion, a sex survey with lots of respondents, like over 400, can yield interesting insights if analyzed properly. Beyond answering X number of yes/no multiple choice questions, put a section in there where people write out their comments, then read them all and make conclusions based on that. Surveys are the most honest way to get a pulse for what the general population is really thinking. Here are some general findings in sex surveys. Everybody lies about one thing or another. People tend to give others the answers that would make them appear normal when talking face to face. Answering a set of questions on a computer gives more honest results. There is no such thing as a normal person or normal couple. Individuals within demographic groups vary wildly. People are brainwashed. They tend to give answers based on what they were spoon-fed by the media as opposed to their own thoughts. Gay people are not necessarily more sexually active than heterosexual people. Some people still say they don't masturbate. 25% of all people say they've had anal sex. Most people have sex with a monogamous partner only. Friends with benefits is mostly a media myth. Men and women both get sexually aroused with new novel people they come across. Men appear to get less confident sexually as they age, while women get more relaxed and confident. Most people are one-dimensional lovers. They don't do much beyond vaginal intercourse. Women want cunnilingus. Women report less arousal and less pleasure than men during sex. Women fake orgasms, but for a lot of them, the orgasm is not as important as an intimate connection. Some women actually love anal sex. Good and satisfying sex does not always have to end in an orgasm. Intimate sex with a caring partner can be awesome without an orgasm. A lot of people feel they're inadequate lovers. Some men do not like to do anal sex. People say they have sex mostly while straight, not while drinking booze or smoking dope. Only about 3% of all people pay for sex or work as sex workers. People overestimate the pleasure their 4 orgasms they give to their partners. People think their partners are having orgasms when they're not. 30% of women report some pain during sex. Men and women say they want both intimacy, emotional connection, and hot sex. Sex survey websites. All men lie about sex. Kinsey's critic. I just wanna know how all the guys can have more sex than all the women? Do they count different things as sex, or are a bunch of dudes hooking up with the same woman? Unless a few gay guys are vastly overachieving. Sex survey comment. The Kinsey Institute is big on survey-type research. nationalsexstudy.indiana.edu. askmen.com. examiner.com/article/journal-of-sexual-medicine-of-sexual-health-and-behavior. ask500people.com. bigquestions.com. collegehumor.com, sex survey. coolfreesurveys.com. cosmo.com, sex survey. maxim.com/humor/89486/sex-survey-her-sex-secrets.html. medscape.com/view-article/4980001_3, World Sex Survey. newyorktimes.com, sex survey. prevention.com/sex survey slideshow. psychology.ucdavis.edu/rainbow/html/fax_cameron_survey.html. quizcat.com/love-surveys.html. sex.healthguru.com/surveys. thecoast.ca, sex survey results. thenationalcampaign.org, the National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy. voices.washingtonpost.com, sex survey. Sex statistics websites. census.gov/population/www/socdemo/ms-law.html, marital status and living arrangements data. bbc.co.uk. bigdashboards.com. cdc.gov/healthy-youth/sexual behaviors, adolescent and school health. census.gov. livescience.com. operationintegrity.org, statistics for sex and porn addiction. psychologytoday.com. straightstatistics.org. womensday.com. Chapter 6. Some love, sex, and relationship websites. Social science sex and love websites. bbc.co.uk/science/hot topics/love. christiananswers.net/love/home.html. Copyright encyclopedia.com. ebooks.com/search app/social-science-gender-studies-ebooks/525. goodmenproject.com/sex-relationships/the-of-science-of-love-studies-and-valentines-day. indulgy.com. journals.elsevier.com/social-science-research. kinseyinstitute.org. learnoutloud.com. livescience.com. psychologytoday.com. ScienceDaily.com. ScienceDirect.com. SexScience.org. SocialPsychology.org. spermbrain.com/sex-survey. StudiesOfLove.com. TheChemistryBetweenOos.com. The-Scientist.com. What-When-How.com/social-sciences/Kinsey-Alfred-social-science. A list of love column websites at bustle.com/entertainment/best-modern-love-columns-to-read. newyorktimes.com/column/modern-love. newyorktimes.com/2017/10/style/modern-love-is-there-something-about-being-single.html. newyorktimes.com/2017/09/15/style/modern-love-my-platonic-romance-psych-ward.html. NewYorkTimes.com/2018/07/style/modern-life-and-love-marriage-hyphen-marriage-hyphen-class-hyphen-at-hyphen-guantanamo.html NewYorkTimes.com/2018/07/style/modern-life-and-love-neither-male-nor-male-fit.html Sex trends websites Wired.co.uk BazaarOnline.dk Fashion news, star style, trends Better.tv childtrends.org/files/sexualactivityrb.pdf Cosmopolitan.co.uk Cosmopolitan.com/sex-love/tips-move/hot-sex-trends-worth-trying Fatherhoodchannel.com Metro.co.uk Sex trends npr.org/templates/story/story.php story ID =1952884 friend with benefits hooked up safersociety.org/upload/wp141-current_practices_emerging_trends.pdf style.it/sexeou/trends-report.aspx trendhunter.com/cool-hunting/category/naughty-trends yourtango.com love research websites/sex research websites any pop culture type of science magazine and even the frivolous glamour types for women will have little love and sex articles based on recent studies. du.edu/psychology/marriage, Center for Marital and Family Studies. actionlove.com, there are at least 100 studies here all on the index page. sexscience.org, Society for the Scientific Study of Sexuality. kinseyinstitute.org, Kinsey Institute for Research in Sex, Gender, and Reproduction. ashastd.org, ASHA Online, information on sexually transmitted diseases. apa.org/help-center/sexual-orientation.aspx, information on sexual orientation and homosexuality, from the APA. PlannedParenthood.org, Planned Parenthood Federation of America. IPPF.org, International PPF. Sexuality.org, Society for Human Sexuality. projects.isr.umich.edu/eym/publications.html, The Early Years of Marriage Project. virginia.edu/marriage project. circe.org, Social Issues Research Guide. who-berlin.de/sexology/atlas_n/html/orgasm_during_sleep.html, orgasm during sleep. aaup.org/aaup/issues/women/legsxhar.htm, Sexual Harassment in Higher Education, Current Issues and Trends. scientificamerican.com, type in sex. sciencedaily.com. nsre.sfsu.edu, National Sexuality Resource Center. height-research.com. gleemagazine.com. divorcebusting.com/sex_drives.htm. psych.ubc.ca. sciencenews.org. l.com/life-love/sex-relationships/from-the-spot-g-spot-understanding-orgasms. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/journal_of_sexuality_and_social_policy. factualtv.com/videos/sexual-trends. glowcom.org, type in social trends. Guttmacher.org, the Guttmacher Institute is a non-profit organization focused on sexual and reproductive health research, policy analysis, and public education. hhmi.org, Howard Hughes Medical Institute. hot-trendtopics.blogspot.com. who-berlin.de/sexology. issir.org, International Society for Sexual and Impotence Research. killerzarch.trendhunter.com/tag/sexual-intercourse.html kinseyinstitute.org livescience.com lovesciencemedia.com medicalnewstoday.com menshealth.com msu.edu/user/sloanrob/sex.html Trends of sexual harassment news-medical.net norc.org National Opinion Research Center University of Chicago type in sexual behavior plannedparenthood.org resources covering sexual and reproductive health topics psychologicalscience.org psychologytoday.com recover.forumup.org sexual dysfunction, including lack of libido, orgasmic dysfunction, premature ejaculation, sexual exhaustion, overmasturbation, drug and medication. regretfulmorning.com/2010/02/girlfriend-a-whore-blame-her-parents. Scientists have discovered a genetic trait which may cause young women to be sluts. researchnews.osu.edu/archive/chains.htm Researchers map the sexual network of an entire high school. self-pleasure-for-women.com/sexual-research-directory sex-study.com sexscience.org sexual-enhancement-formula.com sexual-health-research.com sexualhealthguide.in/tag/sexual-research sexualorientation.info sexualprejudice.org An introduction to scientific research on sexual prejudice, the phenomenon that is often labeled homophobia or heterosexism. sexualresearch.net truthout.org type in sex article website/sex articles websites. Go to ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/pubmed and type in sex, sexual addiction, sexual pathology and other terms like that. Men's Health magazine, menshealth.com has a lot of sex articles in it. Try the Playboy Advisor section of Playboy magazine, playboy.com. niso.nl/ndb.htm, database of sex articles. livescience.com, look for sex articles. allsexguide.com. articles.mercola.com. articlesbase.com/article-tag/sex. articlesbase.com/sexuality-articles. bbc.co.uk/science/human body/sex/articles/testosterone.shtml. becomeaplayer.com, free articles. bust.com/girl-wide-web. psychologytoday.com/basics/sex. catapultmagazine.com. clitical.com. eros.com. eroticreview.blogspot.com. holisticwisdom.com, lot of articles. exalti.com/sex-articles. ezinarticles.com, intense foreplay tips. fordham.edu/halsall/source/aquinas-sex.html. fullsexguide.com, sex articles. gay.com/health/sexuality/article.html. horny-read.com. hotpress.com/sex. humantruth.info. cosmix.com/topic/sex_life. magazine.goodvibes.com. marieclaire.com. medhelp.org/health topics/sex.html. menadvise.com. menshealth.com/sexgrams. nakedbeerinc.com. naughtynightlife.com. nerve.com. newscientist.com. niso.nl/ndb.htm, database of sex articles. nlm.nih.gov, find many sex articles. npr.org, some sex articles. pieba.com/pieba_dirty_talk. pervy.com. playboy.com/sex. pleasurecities.com, primal-page.com, primalreality.com, prospect-magazine.co.uk, lots of love and sex articles. psychcentral.com/sex, psychologytoday.com/topics/sex, questia.com/library, redbookmag.com, scarletine.com, sex education for the real world, sciencedaily.com, seattlepie.nwsource.com/lifestyle, selfhelpmagazine.com/articles/aging/eldersx.html, sex.com, sexagain101.com, sex.com.info, sex.com.info/archive/articles, sex-ed101.org/articles, sex-ed101.org/articles/articles.html, sexlibrary.org, sex-kitten.net/articles, sexoteric.com/blog/index.php, sex-sexuality.com, sexual-enhancement-formula.com/articles.php, lots of articles. Sexuality.babyinfocenter.com, slate.com, soswab.com/articles, springer.com, tangomag.com/sex-articles, Christian, ted.com, thesexcarnival.com, thirdage.com/articles/sex, thirdage.com/menopause/sex-ed-from-a-to-z, time.com, ultimates-sex-related-articles.htm, webmd.com/sex-relationship/frequently-asked-questions-about-sex-and-relationships, webmd.com/sexual-conditions/slideshow-sex-drive-killers, wired.com/sex_drive_daily, womantodaymagazine.com/sex, yoursexarticles.com, free sex ebooks, sexuality.org/book, getfreeebooks.com/?p=799, ebooksex.org, howtoselfhelp.org/sexebooks.htm, advice-for-lifetime-relationships.com, advice-for-lifetime-relationships.com/free-articles.html, free articles for life, personal development, and relationship success. alovelinksplus.com, dating tips. alambo.com, love relationships community. articlesbase.com/dating-understanding-the-opposite-sex-free-download-ebook-439168.html, guide to understanding the opposite sex. articlesbase.com/relationships-articles. articlesbase.com/sexuality-articles. articlet.com/article15606.html, sexploitation PDF ebook. bestebooksworld.com/ebooks/free-sex-ebooks.htm, free sex ebooks. book123.net, discoverybooks.com, drdating.com/information-pages/free-e-books.php, ebookee.org, ebookslab.info, fastseduction.com, Fast Seduction, the ultimate free seduction resource. freebookdownloadable.com, freesexedu.com, the free sex education school for single adults. howtoselfhelp.org/sex-ebooks.htm, liftedhearts.net, relationship issues, including commitment phobia. loadpdf.com, mass-ebooks.com, plow.com/topics/marriage.html, free ebooks and articles on Christian marriage. reclaimsexafterbirth.com/about-ebook.html, reclaiming sex after birth. seductiontuition.com, selfhelpmagazine.com/article/sex. superarticles.com/relationship-article/sexuality-articles. themodernman.com